feedback, always, always positive. Now, let's move to number 5. Attention grabbers. Okay, this is the really important thing. Let me ask you a question, but be honest in the chat or class they're talking together and you want them to pay attention to you. How do you do this? Honestly, in the chat box. Okay, lovely. 1, 2, 3 eyes in me. Positive feedback. I'm talking about attracting the attention. Jumping jacks. Good. Clap. Whole brain teaching. Okay, lovely. So many people use the attention grabbers already in their classrooms. Okay, what are attention grabbers? Because some teachers keep shouting and yelling at students, which is not effective at all. Instead, we can use attention grabbers. These are like mutual utterances. And the word mutual is important here because students have a role to play. You need to teach these attention grabbers, or one of them at least, to students since the beginning of the year. You will tell your students, okay, guys, once I say, focus, focus, everybody in the classroom should stop any activity they are doing, even if it's a task, even if you're writing or talking on something I assigned. You need to stop and respond saying, everybody focus. And keep practicing this so that you make it a habit, as we said. You set rule, so this is the rule, the attention grabber, and then by repetition and teaching and practice, it's like a habit. So what do you think about this? We have so many examples of attention grabbers, like teacher says focus, focus, students respond, everybody focus, plus plus. They are really effective, or you have a better way. Be persistent in using these things. Okay. They are effective actually. Yeah, effective and fun. And instead of, well, it's not mutual. You know, when you give students a role to play, they have a sense of responsibilities. They need to do something just like you. You say an utterance, they respond. So it's a mutual game. And you get what you want, which is their full attention, right? Okay, so now we move to the sixth tip or technique. Okay. Okay, I want you to relate this point to the picture that we saw in the beginning. The girl who was playing on the beach. When she comes and sits in a classroom without any kind of movement. You said, not me, you said she feels traumatized, sad, she will hate her life. Yes, I agree with you. But we need to make use of kinetic activities in order to provide these students or these kids with some kind of fun in the classroom. They don't have to sit still like this and just receive information. No. They can move in an organized way and have fun, practicing English at the same time. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you. Can you kinetic to me? What does the word kinetic means? Kinetic activities. Yeah, movement. Lovely. Yes. Yes. So these are activities that require movement in the classroom. Um, you can think of too many games that require movement in the classroom. Like, I'll give you one example which I myself practice in the classroom. And instead of giving the students a sheet of paper that has a list of questions, you can fold this piece of paper and put it inside a balloon. You can blow up the balloon, and you have enough for the groups. And you assign the group leader to take the balloon and go back to his group, pop it up, get the paper, unfold it, and then answer. It's the same question, the same task. They are practicing English, but now you changed the nature of the activity from just sitting down taking the paper and writing into a game. This is a game. They're having balloons and moving and popping up the balloons. So, what do you think about kinetic activities? Are they really important or not that important? Yeah, yeah, make them learn by moving. Uh, Very effective. Thank you. Really important. Yeah. It's similar to total physical response. Yes, yes, yes. Some questions you can design them to require a total physical response. Yeah, lovely. Actually, try this point in particular. It will make a great difference in your classrooms. It will change your classroom dramatically. Okay. Now let me move to number seven. It's the seventh tip that we have for classroom management. Let me change this slide. Okay, it's difficult. Yeah. Allow students to have enough thinking time. When you give any task or any question and you're expecting an answer from the students, you will find, like, for example, two or three students ready to answer. What do you think? You should take a student at once or you should wait for some time? Okay, wait. Yes, yeah. Actually, yes, we should wait. We should allow enough thinking time because, as you know, we have individual differences. Our students are not the same. Some students are have like faster processing, you can come up with answers quickly. Other students need some time to think, but they can come up with the answer. So, if you take a quick student or choose a quick student quickly to answer the question, what do you think will happen in your classroom later if you don't allow enough time for everybody to think? What do you think the classroom will be like in the future? Give them limited time before, yeah, wait and let them think. Lazy, afraid, unresponsive, this is the word. This is the word, unresponsive. You will lose the slow thinkers or the people who need more time to think. They will not process any question. They will not think about your questions because they know once they start thinking to get the answer, you will pick a fast thinker. So they wouldn't have no time to be picked to share their answers. So in the future, they will not bother themselves to think about the answer or to be engaged. So you will lose many students in your classroom. That's why it's crucial to allow enough thinking times that's suitable for all students in your class. Okay. Now let me move to number 8, which is grading your language. As a teacher, you should grade your language. What do you think I mean by grading your language? Can you tell me in the chat box? How can we grade our language? As teachers, make it appropriate, make it simple. Okay, good. Water it down. Keep in mind the level of students. Oh, lovely, lovely ideas. Yes, we need to adjust our linguistic level to our students' linguistic level. We're not showing off our linguistic level. No, we're just giving our students what they can grasp, what they can understand. And we need to use a lot of visuals and facial expressions and body language to make our language easy and accessible for our students. Okay. In contrast, if we don't grade our language, what do you think that our students would feel? How they would feel if we don't grade our language? Confusion. They will lose focus. They will lose purpose. Lovely. They won't understand what it, yeah, they will feel bored, anxious, so it's not useful. All of these words are not useful within the classroom. They will not help you achieve your objectives. in order to achieve your objectives and to include and engage all your students, you need to grade your language and adjust it to your students' level. Okay. Number 9, which is very, very, very important for the flow of the classroom. Let's see what number 9 says. Teach your students to use hand signals. I need to stop sharing here. What do I mean by hand signals? Okay. These are humans. Students are humans. So maybe we're presenting something related to English, to the target language, but they need to take permission to do something like drinking water or going to the toilet or asking a question. So instead of giving them the chance to say teacher or I want to do blah blah blah, this interrupts the flow of the class. This makes you lose your students. So they can express their needs using their one hand, while the class flow is going. Like, for example, you can teach them. If you want to go to the toilet, for example, just all you need to do is to show me this finger, for example. Just raise it and don't say anything. So in this way, you will keep the flow of the class going, and you can grant this student in particular a permission without even talking. Right? So tell me, guys, in the chat box, do you follow this rule or this technique in your classroom, which is teaching hand signals or body language? Yes, as somebody said in the chat box. Yes, lovely. Yeah, this is Newton. Okay, yeah. So if you try this, you will never regret, because especially if you're teaching kids, kids can't stop talking. If they need to do something, they just spit it out. So give them a way to tell you what they want without even talking, without interruption. Hand signals are really important, will help you keep your class smooth. Okay. Here, we're moving to a new part in our presentation, which is the kinds of disruptive students. Okay, why do you think, before I show you some kinds of disruptive students, why do you think I started with the tips or the strategies of classroom management first, and then I'll show you the kinds of disruptive students? Why do you think this order in the presentation? Can you tell me in the chat box? What do you think? Why I started with the strategies or the techniques or the tips, and then I'll show you the disruptive students and how to deal with them. Warmer up. If they have rule, they don't disrupt. Lovely. I love this. Okay, to show the practical application of the tips. Yeah, valid. So that we can, sorry, miss this, especially because I'm in English. Okay, to control class, to avoid disruption, to start with positive. Yeah. Actually, I started with the solution, and then I'll show you the problem. The solution in the techniques or the tips that we covered so far. And this is the problem, which is the disruption inside your classroom. So we started with the solution, okay? And now we will see the problem, so that we don't worry about the solution. We know the solution before we even know the problem. Kinds of disruptive students, okay? These are the most common types of disruptive students. The first type is called talk hunts. What do you think these students do? From the name you can guess, talk hunts. Yeah, every problem has a solution, that's correct. So, talk over everyone, lovely. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jazz. Okay, yeah. Talk hunts are students who like to talk over others and interrupt others, the teacher, and also their peers. Okay, so I will not tell you the solution for this student, the talk hub, because we mentioned all the solutions first. You can use all the tips that we mentioned earlier. In inviting the students to be part of these rooms, uh, grading your language. All these things help to control the talk, hugs activity inside the classroom. Okay. The second type of disruptive students is called grippers. What do you think these students do? Okay. I'm talking about grippers now. This is another kind of disruptive students. Actually, grippers are students, yeah, lovely. Yeah, somebody said it. Saktawi, yeah. These are students, lovely, inshallah, yeah. Grippers are students who like to complain a lot. They complain from everything, every negative thing around them. They may complain from the teacher, their peers, the lighting system, the projector, the paper, the pencil, anything. Of course, how to overcome their disruption? I will not say how, because we mentioned how earlier. Especially engage them in fun activities. Remember the word fun, okay? Because if the class is fun, they will find no time to complain. They will have fun in the classroom. The third kind is resenters. What do you think resenters are like? The class size plays a role, yes, but the techniques that we mentioned earlier can help you manage. So, presenters are students who have like a negative attitude towards their peers or towards the teacher. They don't like the teacher or they don't like their peers. It's like hatred, okay? And this kind of students need to be engaged in fun activities. They need to be approached privately. And if they don't respond properly, so they need to be sent to the student counselor to have like a private conversation to know the reason for their negative feelings, okay? Next, experts. Experts are students who know a lot about what's being taught.
Experts.
Can these students be disruptive? How? Can you tell me how they can be disruptive? In the chat box, I'm waiting. How can the students who know a lot about the lessons? Yeah, thank you. Yes, they can get bored. They are quick, talking too much. Yeah, shouting answers. Yeah, maybe. And most of all, the most serious thing here is that they're not motivated to participate or to pay attention because they know everything that's being said. So, in addition to what we mentioned earlier, you need to include some like challenging tasks for these students, okay, and also assign them to help others, to be group leaders, okay, so that they have the motivation to be engaged in the class because they know a lot, as we said. The next type after experts, know-it-alls. What's the difference between know-it-alls and experts? Experts, we said they know a lot about what's being taught. Yes, thank you, Umayma Wali. Yes, they pretend to know everything. They don't know, actually. The know-it-alls, they pretend to have full knowledge about what's being taught. Not only this, they try to overcorrect their peers, even if their correction is not correct. Okay, here, setting up the rules, making them a habit, and practicing social pressure is valid here. Ask the other students to remind the know-it-alls with your rules that you set earlier. Okay? The next type is quite serious. You have to be aware of these hecklers. What do I mean by hecklers? Hecklers. Shouting at. Okay. Not really. Hecklers are students who are sarcastic. who make fun of their peers and may make fun of the teacher. Okay, again, the techniques and the tips that we mentioned, they're not aggressive, they're actually sarcastic, they make fun of everything. So we need to make use of setting the rules, making them habits, and practicing social pressure, and approaching these students privately and talking to them in a strict but respectful way. Okay? And finally, the quiet ones. How can quiet ones be disruptive? Can you tell me? In the chat box, quiet students. How can they be disruptive in your classroom? The quiet students. They divert the topic through sarcasm that, yeah, they're talking about Hitlers. Ask them questions. Are feeling confident. They are not responding and sleeping. Yeah. Not participation. They don't talk. Yeah. Yes. That's good. They're not motivated to participate. They're not motivated to work, to learn. So the key element for all these types of disruptive students is engagement. You have to engage all these disruptive students in fun activities, motivate them, and keep the environment safe. So it's all about 3 words. We don't forget after all. 3 words. 3 words. Can you remember the 3 words? If you can remember them, just let me see them in the chat box, please. Motivation, yeah, excellent, Jazz. Motivation, fun. We need one more. Motivation, fun. Motivation, fun. Yeah, same. Thank you. Yes. Make your classroom motivating, safe, and fun. If you guarantee that your students, these 3 elements, your students will guarantee you a well-managed classroom. Okay. So, I have now a golden tip for all of you, for myself too. We shouldn't take it personally with any disruptive student. It's not about you as a teacher or a person. This is the human nature. People never give their full attention without motivating and engaging them. So don't let the disruptive attitude of some students affect you psychologically, let's say, because it's not about you. You need to think rather how to include and engage them. And doing this is not difficult, but it's not easy. It takes time to make these things like a habit in your classroom. Now, I'd like to say thank you for listening, and not only listening, participating. You said everything in the chat box, mashallah. And you can find me on LinkedIn. This is my page, Tariq Abdul Rahman. Feel free to reach me, and now it's time for questions if you have any. Joe, I'm done.